I'm going to break down how to draw the face at a very beginner level. So if you are looking to practice or you're just getting started out, this is the video for you. I do have an ebook on how to draw faces for beginners. Here comes my cat, he likes to join me. The ebook is Whimsical Faces and General Faces for Beginners. Both are very similar, but if you're looking for a detailed ebook, it's how to draw faces. And if you're just looking for something a little more, with a little more practice in it, that would be How to Draw Whimsical Faces. You can't go wrong with either one. I will include a link in the description. This is for anyone who wants to just have fun and draw along with me, but not in a realism way. So let's jump in and get started. I hope you join me. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. I look forward to hearing from you, and it's been a while, so let's jump in and get started. This is the ebook that I have called How to Draw Faces. And in addition to walking you through step by step how to draw all the different features and faces to fill in, it's really a combination of how to draw, but also practice sessions or pages for you to practice your drawing on. This also has, I also have in this book like faces that are already completed that you can fill in. I have an older, this is one that I did with the book where it maps out the face for you. But, oh, and there's practice sessions, all sorts of things. Okay. We are going to draw faces for beginners, and I normally would use a pencil, but it's really hard to see when I'm drawing for video. So what I'm going to do now, I used to use Sharpies, but now I'm just using this as like just a brush pen that I really like with ink in it. And let's break this down step by step. The first thing you're going to do is draw a circle. Now it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It's fine. We're going to take that circle and we are going to draw a line through the center of it from side to side and top to bottom. The next thing we're going to do is come right up. See where these two connect with the circle? We're going to draw a U shape coming down from that. Okay. And that is almost like an egg shape. All right, and I'm just going to show you. That's kind of what we did right here. I'm going to extend that down. Now that we have the circle and the oval, or the circle with the U shape, we are going to map in the features. Typically, your eye is going to be halfway through. Like this circle is divided in half, right? On this side, you're going to take the center and draw a dot for the eye. And on this side, you're going to take the center and draw a dot for the eye. You're kind of seeing like the two eyes there. What you're going to do next is at the bottom part of the circle, just above that, we're going to draw a circle. Okay, you're going to draw a little circle for the nose. And then see this U shape here, right here, halfway through here, you're going to draw a bigger sort of oval for the mouth. That's how I like to do it. It makes it really easy. I can then just draw a line through it and you can kind of see a mouth taking shape. Now for the eyes, we're going to draw just a little curved line for the eye. It takes practice, but you're kind of seeing a face take shape here. Above these eyes, you can draw an eyebrow. And if you're new to drawing faces, like keeping it simple is the best way to do it. Sometimes I'll draw a little eyelid, but it's starting to look like a face. This is the nose. One thing to consider is this is just the center part of the nose. You could, like that's the tip of the nose. You can draw like a little like U shape on each side. And that's your nose, if that makes sense. Now you've got a face here. We're going to then draw some lines for the neck. Now the ears, if you want to measure out where the ears are, just take a line from the bottom of the nose to the eye, and this is where your ear will be. Now what I like to do then is just draw like a circle for hair. Now I'm going to show you once again how to do this. but hopefully you can see this. Hoping, it's hard for me to tell, but you can see there's an eye line, a nose, and a mouth line when you draw your circle and then the U underneath. So let's give this a try one more time, because when it comes to drawing faces, it's all about the practice. You have to practice, 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 practice. Let's see if I should use a different pen. Just makes it easier. Okay, we're gonna try, I'm gonna draw a circle. And then I'm going to draw that U coming down from the circle. And that's what I call like an egg shape. Okay, I've got one with the line and one without. We're going to draw a line down the center. And then we're going to take this circle and we're going to draw a line, you know, across the center. And we're going to map in the eyes. So for the eyes, we're going to draw a dot halfway between each line, right? And a curve. This is the very basics for the nose. We're going to draw a circle. You can play around where the nose is. Like I just want it a little bit up above a little bit. And then this U shape halfway, you're going to draw a little line. And that's where the mouth is. One of the things I like to do that you saw earlier is I'll draw like an oval. Even though I drew the line for the mouth, if I just draw an oval, you could see it looks like lips. And that's sort of where it's mapped in for me. You can actually then just play with it and make it into an actual mouth. The nose you can take here and just darken that bottom part of the circle a bit and then add a little U shape next to each one, and you can see these are the nostrils. Okay, I'm liking how it's looking so far. I might just take these eyes, extend them a little, the top of the eyes and extend it a little bit. You can also draw a circle. So all I did was draw a circle for the pupils, but if I want, I can draw like a little circle around it to create the actual eyes, right? The next thing I'm going to do is map in the eyebrows. A lot of times I don't put the eyelids, but I can if I want to, just draw like a little, another sort of line above there. You're seeing it sort of taking place here. The eyebrows you can do however you want. In this case, I'm just keeping it like that. A lot of times I'll hear from people that I don't have space between the edge of the eye and the face, and it's true, but this is how I draw my eyes. If I wanted to adjust the face a bit, I could to make it a little bit wider, but this is just how I personally like to practice drawing faces. So we've got the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. The other thing you could do from a shading perspective is you can just draw a little half, like a little line there for the bottom of the eye, and then just come down a little bit to the circle, to that circle you drew for the nose. To draw the bridge of the nose if you wanted to. You could play with the eyebrows however you want. And you can draw circles for the cheek if you want. A lot of times, you know, this is where the cheeks are and the cheekbone. And I just draw a little shadow underneath the lips. The ears, as we said, is the bottom of the nose and the corner of the mouth. Drawing her ears. And for hair, a lot of times, if you're new to drawing, you can just draw an upside down U over her head, right? You could use this as the point for her like center part, and you could play around. And then it's all about playing with the face and making it your own. Let me try one more so you could see what I mean. I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to show you how I do it. So you can see how if you map out a face over and over and over again, you start becoming used to where each of the features go, and you can be a little more willing to play with it. So let's give this another try. Okay, so my cat is visiting us once again. We are going to practice again. I'm going to draw an oval. See that? Okay, I've got my oval mapped in. I'm going to draw a line all the way down and above center, because this is where I'm going to map in my features. I am going to draw a dot for the eye, or a circle. I'm going to draw like a circle for the nose. Doesn't have to, you're going to be playing around with this. And then I'm going to be drawing a circle for the mouth, but a line through it. I just find that the easiest way. Let's see if you could see this. I feel like that's the easiest way to draw the mouth. You could see how I drew a circle for the nose, that line, and then a circle over the mouth. I feel like that's the easiest way to map it all in. Okay, let's keep going. When it comes to the eyes, you can play with it. You can keep it simple or complicated. I like to draw just a little tiny curve. I don't always draw, around the pupils. Sometimes I'll just leave it as a dot. You can also draw underneath of it, just a little bit there. And now you can see, it's just so simple. You keep it very simple. Don't try to get bogged down by details, especially if you're new to drawing faces. You can even draw a circle for the cheeks, which I just think is kind of playful and fun. And I'm going to draw a line down for the neck. And we know that the ears go from the corner of the mouth to the bottom of the nose. The forehead's always so much bigger than you imagine it to be. And now I'm just drawing like a curve over the eye and maybe like little lines around the pupil. It's coming together now. And a lot of times for eyelashes, I don't get lost in the details. I literally just draw I just like that darker line to make it look like eyelashes. Sometimes I'll draw a little bit darker in the corners of the eye. And we're going to do that with the lip. You can see I just made that center part a little bit darker. The eyebrows, you can do anything you want with them. Look at pictures of people and check out what their eyebrows look like. I mean, eyebrows can basically be any shape you want them to. Some people have arched eyebrows. And the nose you can either leave, you can leave it as a little line if you wanted to. A lot of times that's all I will do. And I'll bring down sort of from the top front corner of the eyebrow. I'll just draw a little, I'll keep it really light, but it kind of shows you the bridge of the nose. And then I'll just draw a little, I call it like a U shape on the outside of that circle. And I just feel like it just makes it look more like a face. A lot of times there's shadow under that bottom lip, so you can just draw a little shadow. Typically the corners of the lip match up where the middle of the eye is, but I will often leave my mouth a little bit smaller or bigger. The thing about drawing faces is perfection is really not required unless you're trying to do realism. Another fun thing to do if you're not good at hair is to just draw some circles for the flowers. You can make flowers. She can have all sorts of flowers in her hair. And it just makes it really a fun way to draw faces. And then I just draw a squiggly line for the hair. And a lot of times for, once you get to the bottom of the face, I'll just draw something like this. A lot of loopy lines, and you've got yourself a face with a girl with flowers in her hair. And coloring that in is a lot of fun. I think the more practice you get with this, the better you become. So, this is what we started out with, and you can just play around. And again, I can't stress enough how important it is to practice drawing faces and understand that when you're practicing, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Like here's some practicing I did of faces on just printer paper. This is just printer paper and nothing's perfect, but the more you practice, the more fun you have. Here's another one because I'm practicing side profiles. And I do love these scratchy marks. It's so much fun. Do I have more? I'll show you. I'm in the process of doing another book for drawing faces. So I've been doing a lot of practicing. These are just loose, sketchy lines for side profile. And all I use is, I use printer paper and then I'll take it and like I'm not done with this because I'll flip it over and I'll draw on the other side. So I don't like to waste paper and I think printer paper is just a fun way to practice drawing faces. Sometimes when it comes to drawing faces, you can just sort of loosely map it in with a pencil and see what comes out. Once you're used to mapping in where all the features go, then I recommend just practicing and seeing what comes out. And that's what I did here. That can be as simple as, if I could find my pencil, here it is. That could be as simple as just drawing a circle, like I said, like an oval. Once you're getting used to that circle with the U shape underneath of it, right? You can draw that circle loosely with the U shape underneath of it. Draw like some lines for the neck. You know where those eyes go, right? It's just above center. And you can just draw a little dot and play around. Again, the circle for the nose. My favorite is that oval for the lips. And just play around with it a bit. And it just sort of comes to life with the basic shapes. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just a little bit of practice. There's always some shadow in the front corner of the eye as well, because the bridge of the nose, where a lot of times I'll, right in front of the corner of the front part of the eyebrow, that bridge of the nose presents itself and it will cast a shadow where the eyes are. I don't always draw underneath, like the bottom lid either. But again, a thick eye lid or a thick eyelash is all you need for the eyelashes. You don't need to draw each lash. I see a lot of people doing that, but for me, sometimes it's just easier when I'm sketching to play around. And that's why I started with Sharpie marker. I don't typically erase, but if you draw with a pencil and you use some light lines, you can get darker as you go and really bring that face to life. You don't even need to draw ears if you want. You can just draw hair right over it. The forehead is always larger, right? Then you think it takes up quite a bit of the face. And you can play with the face shape too. Play with where that neck goes. Sometimes I'll like a curve for the neck. And again, once you add some color or some flowers, it really brings it to life. It's not about perfection. It's just about having fun and practicing drawing your faces. And the more you practice, the better you get. And if all else fails, add the jewelry, swoopy lines, and you can still have a beautiful face. I think that's going to be it today. If you have any questions about the ebook on how to draw faces, which is simpler than this, it's more simple than this. If you have any questions about my ebook on how to draw faces, let me know. I hope you all have a wonderful day and happy sketching.